There is a scene almost everyone has seen. An older man standing alone in a garage. Maybe it was your father. Maybe your grandfather. Maybe a quiet neighbor down the street. In front of him is a lawnmower that will not start. An old car. A broken pump. A box of rusted parts. He does not say much. His hands are covered in oil. His shirt smells like metal. And his eyes are locked on the thing that stopped working. Most younger people look at that and think, why not just call someone? Why not buy a new one? Why spend an entire afternoon fighting with an old machine? But here is the strange part. Sometimes that man walks into the garage tense, quiet, heavy, and an hour later, he walks out a little calmer, even if the machine is not fully fixed yet. So what actually happened in there? Not magic, not a secret cure, and not because all men are the same. Something simpler is happening. In that garage, he is facing a kind of problem that modern life rarely gives us anymore. A problem with shape, a problem with weight, a problem he can touch. And that matters more than most people realize. Because many modern problems do not have a clear shape. You send an important email. Then you wait. You send an honest message. The other person sees it, but does not reply. You sit through a tense meeting. Everyone is polite, but nobody says what the real problem is. The day ends. Nothing terrible happened. You did not completely fail. You did not do anything obviously wrong. But your body still feels heavy. Your mind still feels unfinished. Like something is still open. Like some invisible tab is still running in the background. If you have ever felt that, it does not mean you are weak. And this is not a diagnosis. It simply points to something very human. We do not only need to think about problems. Sometimes, we also need to feel that something has been handled. But the problem is this. You cannot hold anxiety in your hand. You cannot tighten a relationship that is slowly drifting away. You cannot take a deadline apart, clean it, and put it back together. Modern stress is often floating, vague, half real, half imagined. And this is why the old garage is worth paying attention to. Not because the past was perfect, not because older men always had it right, but because that garage contains something modern life often removes. Clear feedback. A broken machine is not emotionally complicated. It does not send mixed signals. It does not use polite language to hide pressure. It does not say, let's circle back. It either runs or it does not. That can be frustrating, but it is also honest. You try one thing. It fails. You try another. It still fails. You stop. You look closer. You listen. You touch the part that is stuck. You wipe away the dust. You loosen one screw. You tighten another. And then, sometimes, the machine coughs, shakes, and comes back to life. Not every time, not perfectly. But when it happens, the feeling is very real. Something outside of you changed because of something you did. That is the first reason this matters. A physical problem gives you physical proof. Proof that your effort can affect the world. Not always. Not completely. But enough to remind you. I can try. I can be wrong. I can adjust. I can make one small thing better. And here's where many people get it wrong. They think the power is in fixing the machine. But sometimes, the power is in staying with the problem long enough to learn from it. I learned this the annoying way. A few years ago, I tried to fix an old washing machine. Online, it looked simple. The tutorial was only a few minutes long. The person in the video removed the panel, loosened one bolt, pulled out the broken part, put in a new one, and the machine worked again. I watched that video and thought, I can do that. I had the screwdriver. I had the wrench. I had the phone open beside me. And I felt confident for about 20 minutes. Then real life showed up. The video did not mention that my machine was more than 10 years old. It did not mention rust. It did not mention that one bolt would be almost fused to the frame. It did not mention that a cheap wrench would slip at exactly the wrong moment. And it definitely did not mention the skin I would scrape off my knuckles. At first, I was angry. Not just at the machine. At myself. I had the information. I had the instructions. I followed the steps. So why did reality refuse to follow the script? That is when I understood something important. Sometimes the problem is not that we lack information. The problem is that we are no longer used to friction. A screen is smooth. Tap once. The page changes. Swipe once. The video disappears. Do not like something? Leave. Do not understand something? Find another tutorial. But the physical world is different. A rusted bolt does not care that you are frustrated. A warped piece of wood does not care how many videos you watched. An old machine does not care that you expected this to be easy. It only responds to what you actually do. And that kind of resistance can teach something valuable. Not every delay means failure. Not every moment of frustration means you should quit. Sometimes frustration is just information. It is the world saying, slow down, look again, try another angle, or ask someone with more experience. That is the second lesson. Working with something real can train patience. Not the pretty kind of patience people talk about in books. The ugly kind. The kind where you are sitting on the floor, sweat in your eyes, hands dirty, back aching, a little embarrassed, a little annoyed, but still there, still looking, still trying. And this is where something interesting happens. When your attention is fully on a real task, your mind often has less room to run in 10 different directions. You are not solving your whole life. You are not fixing every relationship. You are not answering every fear. You are just listening to the machine. Is that sound normal? Is that smell burned rubber? Is this part loose? Why is this screw stuck? For some people, that kind of focus can feel calming. Not because it cures anxiety, not because it replaces therapy, but because it brings attention back to the present, back to the hands, back to the eyes, back to the breath, back to one thing. And one thing can be powerful when your life feels like too many things at once. But listen carefully, because this is where videos like this can easily go too far. Not every quiet man in a garage is emotionally healthy. Not every form of silence is wisdom. And not every person who works with their hands is automatically processing their feelings. Sometimes work is used to avoid a conversation that needs to happen. Sometimes a person hides behind projects. Sometimes the garage becomes an escape from family, responsibility, or pain. So the point is not, go be silent and fix things. The point is more careful than that. For some people, a physical task can be a healthy way to settle down before facing life again. But it should not become a way to disappear from life. That difference matters. If someone goes to the garage, works with their hands, calms down, and comes back more present, that can be useful. If someone goes there to avoid every hard conversation, that is different. The tool is not the problem. The pattern is the question. And that brings us to a common misunderstanding. Many people assume that emotional processing always has to look like talking, sitting across from someone, naming the feeling, explaining the pain. And for many people, that really helps. Talking can be important. Therapy can be important. Honest conversation can be life-changing. But not everyone begins there. Some people begin with movement. Some people begin with silence. Some people begin by making tea, walking outside, cleaning a room, cooking slowly, or repairing something small. This does not mean they are healed. It does not mean the problem is gone. It simply means their nervous system may need a doorway. And for some people, that doorway is action. A small task, a clear beginning, a next step, a visible result. When life feels too large, sometimes the mind needs a smaller world, a drawer that finally opens smoothly, a chair that no longer shakes, a bicycle chain that runs again, a messy corner that becomes usable, a simple meal made from the beginning. Not because these things solve everything, they do not, but because they give the mind one honest experience. Something was out of order. I stayed with it. Now it is a little more ordered than before. If you only remember one thing, remember this. A small repair is not a cure, but it can be a reminder that not every problem has to be solved through thinking alone. Sometimes the body needs to participate. So how can you use this idea safely? Start small. Do not begin with electrical wiring. Do not begin with gas. Do not begin with car brakes. Do not begin with anything dangerous just to prove something. Start with something low risk. A loose chair, a stuck drawer, a flat bicycle tire, a plant that needs new soil, a messy shelf, a meal that takes time, a small object that can be cleaned, tightened, adjusted, or restored. And before you rush to a tutorial, try this. Pause for 10 minutes. Just observe. Where is it stuck? What is loose? What is bent? What sound does it make? What changes when you move this part? This is not about becoming an expert. It is about practicing the ability to stay with reality before outsourcing the entire problem. Then, if you still need help, get help. Watch the tutorial. Ask a friend. Call a professional. That is not failure. Knowing your limits is also competence. And here's the part that needs to be said clearly. This tool is not for everyone. Some people feel calmer when working with their hands. Some people feel more frustrated. Some people have painful memories connected to garages, fathers, pressure, or being forced to be tough. Some people simply do not like mechanical work. All of that is valid. This is not a rule for every person. It is only one possible support, and it is not a replacement for professional care. If sadness, anxiety, panic, anger, or numbness keeps coming back and starts affecting sleep, work, relationships, or daily life, it may be time to talk to a qualified professional. If you are using alcohol, substances, overwork, or isolation to avoid what you feel, that is worth taking seriously. And if you ever feel like you might harm yourself, please reach out to emergency help or a trusted person immediately. You do not have to fix everything alone. Some things should not be repaired alone. A dangerous electrical system needs a professional. A complex machine may need a trained technician. And deep emotional pain deserves the right kind of support too. That does not make you weak. It means you are choosing safety. So how should we understand that man in the garage? We do not need to turn him into a hero. Not every older man was wise. Not every silence was healthy. Not every calloused hand tells a noble story. But we also do not need to dismiss what may have been happening there. In that small garage, some people learned something modern life often forgets. That frustration is not always a stop sign. Sometimes it is the beginning of learning. That feeling clumsy does not mean you are useless. It means you are meeting reality without a filter. That a problem does not need to be solved instantly to be worth staying with. And that one small change made by your own hands can remind you of something important. You are not only a person waiting for life to happen to you. Sometimes you can touch the world. Try something. Adjust. And make one small part of it work better. Not perfectly. Not forever. Not as a cure. Just a little better. And some days, a little better is enough to keep going. So tonight, if you want to try this, do not start by changing your whole life. Start with one small thing. One drawer. One shelf. One meal. One plant. One loose screw. One corner of the room. Move slowly. Pay attention. Let yourself be bad at it for a while. And notice what happens inside you when one small thing begins to come back into order. If this video reminded you of your father, your grandfather, or someone who used to disappear into a garage, leave a comment. Tell me this. What is the last thing you fixed in the real world? And if you want more videos about everyday psychology, without fear, without quick diagnoses, and without pretending one tool works for everyone, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.